The Book of Syrach, chapter 27.
Verse 1. Many men have trespassed for neediness, and he that seeketh to be made rich turneth away his eye. Verse 2. As a stake is fastened in the midst of a heap of stones, so in a man shall be anguish by sins betwixt the midst of selling and buying. Verse 3. Trespass shall be all to broken with him that trespasseth. Verse 4. If thou holdest not thee diligently in the dread of the Lord, thine house shall soon be turned upside down. Verse 5. As dust shall dwell in the holes of a riddle, so the anguish of a man shall dwell in the thought of him. Verse 6. A furnace proveth the vessels of a potter, and the temptation of tribulation proveth just men. Verse 7. As churlets travel about a tree showeth the fruit thereof, so a word of thought showeth the heart of a man. Verse 8. Praise thou not a man before a word, for why, this is the temptation of men. 9. If thou suest rightfulness, thou shalt take it. Thou shalt clothe it as a long cloth of honor, and thou shalt dwell with it. And it shall defend thee without an end, and in the day of knowing thou shalt find steadfastness. 10. Volatiles come together to brides like themselves, and truth shall turn again to them that work in it. 11. A lion setteth the spies ever to hunting, so sins to them that work in wickedness. 12. An holy man dwelleth in wisdom, as the sun dwelleth stably, for why a fool is changed as the moon. 13. In the midst of unwise men keep thou a word to time, but be thou busy in the midst of them that think in the law of God. 14. The telling of sinners is hateful, and the lying of them is in the trespass of sin. 15. Speech swearing much shall make standing up of ears, for a stoning to the head, and unreverence thereof is stopping of ears. 16. The shedding out of blood is in the chiding of proud men, and the cursing of them is grievous hearing. 17. He that showeth openly the privities of a friend leaseth faithfulness, and he shall not find a friend to his soul. 18. Love thou a neighbor, be thou joined with him in faith. 19. For it thou showest openly the privities of him, thou shalt not perfectly sue after him. 20. For as a man that leaseth his friend, so he that leaseth the friendship of his neighbor. 21. And as a man that letteth go a bird from his hand, so thou that hast forsake thy neighbor, and thou shalt not take him. 22. Thou shalt not sue him, for he is far absent, for he escaped as a captive from a snare, for the soul of him is wounded. 23. Thou shalt no more bind him together, but of evil saying is according. 24. So thou, to show openly the privities of a friend, is despair of a soul unblessed. 25. He that twinkleth with the eye maketh wicked things. 26. And no man shall cast him away in the sight of thine eye, and he shall befoul his mouth, and he shall wonder on thy words. But at the last he shall turn waywardly his mouth, and in his words he shall give slander. 27. I heard many things, and I made not even to him, and the Lord shall hate him. 28. If a man throweth a stone on high, it shall fall on his head, and the guileful wound of a guileful man shall depart wounds. 29. And he that diggeth a ditch shall fall into it, and he that setteth a stone to a neighbor shall offend therein, and he that setteth a snare to another man shall perish therein. 30. If a man maketh worse counsel, it shall be turned on him, and he shall not know from whence it shall come to him. 31. The scorning and despising of proud men and vengeance shall set a spy to him, as a lion doeth. 32. They that delighten in the fall of just men shall then perish by a snare. Forsooth, sorrow shall waste them before that they die. 33. Ire and woodenness ever either been abominable, and a sinful man shall hold though.
So ends chapter 27 of the book of Syrach.